Hi there, Mr. Holcomb here with another episode of The Math Behind the Modules. All right, lesson 2.4, chapter 2.4, explore compound interest. So we're going from simple interest to compound interest in this lesson. And compound interest just means that you gain interest on your interest, okay? So if you have $100 and you make 2% on it, say in the first year, that'd be $2, so $102. The following year, you'd make 2% on the $102, not just the $100. So you get another $2 for the 100 and 4 cents for the 2% on the $2. And it just compounds and it gets bigger and bigger. And that's how retirement accounts work. So here we go, compound interest. It's interest on top of interest. Annual compounding means that it compounds, it takes the interest amount once a year. Semi-annual compounding is when we do it every 6 months, 2 times a year. Quarterly compounding is 4 times a year, therefore every 3 months. Daily compounding is pretty self-explanatory. There'd be 365 days of compounding interest and 366 on a leap year. And we'll get to crediting as well. Example 1, how much interest would $1,000 earn in 1 year? So notice this does not say simple interest. So we're not using the simple interest formula, or are we? Because it says in 1 year at an annual rate of 2%. So we have $1,000, that's our principal. And we have a time period, our time frame of 1 year and the rate of 2%. So since it is 1 year, we would use the simple interest formula because simple interest is compounded annually, and this is saying 1 year, so it's equivalent to simple interest in this situation. So if I say I equals PRT, just like last lesson, and then list what everything is, like so. Okay, how much interest? So I'm trying to find I. $1,000 is our principal. Rate is 0.02 and time is 1 year. So we would say I equals 1,000 times 0.02, and the 1 is irrelevant because anything times 1 is itself. So 1,000 times 0.02 is $20. Okay, that just moves the decimal 3 places, boom, boom, boom. And so therefore the interest would be $20. And that answers the question. What would be the new balance is the next question. So the new balance is principal plus interest equals new balance. I'm not talking about sneakers. So $1,000 plus the $20 interest would equal $1,020. That is our new balance. Okay, now it says check your understanding. Pause the video, see if you can do this, and then come back. So here we go. It says how much would X dollars earn? Okay, so X dollars, 1 year, 4.4%. So what are these things? Well, X dollars is our principal. This is our time, and this is our rate. Compounded annually again is simple interest. So we would say the interest would equal the number of dollars times 0.044 times 1. So simplifying that, interest would equal 0.044x. All right, example 2 says Maria deposited $1,000. All right, so there's our P. In savings account that pays 2%. There's our R. Compounded semi-annually. And what is our balance after 1 year? So the semi-annually means every 6 months. All right, so in order to do this, we use the formula I equals PRT. And I'm going to list them over here. Interest equals principal equals rate equals time equals. Okay, so compounded semi-annually. So I want to find out how much interest she earns in the first 6 months. So that's a half a year. Semi-annually is every 6 months. So our time is a half a year. Our rate is 0.02. Our principal is $1,000. We want to find the interest, and this is after 6 months. So I'll call it I sub 6 because we have to do this in 2 steps. Okay, so interest after 6 months, I sub 6 equals the principal times the rate times the time frame, and that's a half a year, so that's 0.5. So I interest in 6 months will be, well, 1,000 times 0.02 is moving the decimal place 3 places to the right, which is $20, and a half of $20 is $10. Okay, so there's no need for the calculator for this. So the interest earned was $10. Okay, so the interest is $10. So now she has $1,000 principal and $10 in interest, totaling $1,010 after 6 months. Now I need to repeat this process and find out what the second 6 months is going to equal, and that's going to equal PRT again. So the interest after 12 months is going to be the new principal of $1,010 times the same rate of 0.02 and the next half a year, or 0.5. Okay, so that I sub 12 interest over the second time it's compounded will be, let's open the calculator up for this one because of that $10, and it's going to be $1,010 times 0.02 times a half, and that is going to equal $10.10. Okay, so the interest earned on this would be now $10.10. Okay, so we had $1,000 initially. We made $10 interest on the first 6 months, bringing our balance at the first 6 months end to be $1,010. And then we made another $10.10 in the second 6 months. So this is going to be 1,0201. So the compounded interest after 1 year will be $1,020.10. And that is her new balance after 1 year. Okay, now check your understanding. It says Alex deposited $4,000 in a savings account that pays 5% interest compounded semi-annually. What is his balance after 1 year? So it's the same type of question. I'm going to write I sub 6 equals P RT, and I will do it again over here. I sub 12 equals P RT because it is semi-annually. And then off to the side, I will list what we're given. I equals, P equals, and that's going to be sub 6, R equals, and T equals. And then I'm going to have I sub 12 eventually is going to equal something as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this one first. Principal is $1,000 or $4,000. So I sub 6 equals 4,000 times our rate of 5%, which is 0.05, times a half a year, which is 0.5. Okay, so we do 4,000, 0.05, 0.5 equals $100. Okay, so the interest after 6 months was $100. Okay, so there's our first 6 months of interest. Oh, I didn't put my principal of 4,000, and my rate is 0.05, and my time was 0.5. So now I have, actually, I probably should just relist all of these now. So now my principal is the interest from the first 6 months plus the initial principal, which was 4,000. So now I have $4,100. That's after 12 months. So that'd be the P sub 6 balance. And the rate is still going to be 0.05. And the time is going to be the second half of the year, which is another half. Okay, so these are the values we're going to use in this blue one. So I sub 12 is going to equal our new principal of $4,100 times 0.05 times 0.5. So let's see, calculator, 4,100 0.05 for the interest rate and 0.5 for the second half of the year, and we get $102.50. So this is 102.50. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4,100 from the second part of the year. That was our interest. That was our principal plus interest from the first 6 months. And then we're going to add the interest, which was let me put 00 here, 4,100 and no cents. And then 102.50 added to that will give me a 0, a 5, a 2, a 0, a 2, a 4. So the final balance after a year of compounding semi-annually at 0.5%, $4,000 will become $4,202.50. Okay, example 3 says, how much interest does $1,000 earn in 3 months at an interest rate of 2% compounded quarterly? So the key here is compounded quarterly. And it's asking what the balance is after 3 months. Okay. So that's a simple interest equation. So we're going to write I equals PRT. And off to the side here, what is I, what is P, what is R, and what is T? How much interest? So we're trying to find I. $1,000 is the P, principal. 3 months is the time, but we want it in a portion of a year. So 3 months is 1/4 of a year. So that's going to be 0.25 or a quarter. And the interest rate is 0.02, 2%. Okay, so then when we solve this, we just simplify by substituting in and then solving. So P is 1,000, R 0.02, and T 0.25. Okay, so 2% of 100 is $2. So 2% of 1,000 is $20. $20 times a quarter or divided by 4 is 5. So the interest earned was $5, but it says, what is the balance after 3 months? So the balance is going to equal principal plus interest. So therefore, the $1,000 plus $5 equals $1,005 after 3 months. Okay, now it's your turn. So pause the video, see if you can do this, check your understanding. And assuming you've done so, let's do this. So how much does $3,000 earn in 6 months at an interest rate of 4% compounded quarterly? So there it is again, compounded quarterly. Okay. So interest equals PRT. I equals P equals R equals T equals, and this is the principal, 3,000. 6 months. So at an interest rate of 4% would be 0.04. And compounded quarterly means 0.25. That's the time. But be careful here. This one, we have to do something different. This is in 6 months. So we're going to have to, it compounds quarterly. So that at the end of 3 months, you get interest compounded onto your principal. Then you have to take that new principal to do the second. So we have to do this twice. So I of the first quarter, I'm going to call this. So I sub 1 equals PRT. So I sub 1 equals the principal of $3,000 times the rate 0.04 times 0.25. So the interest after the first quarter, let's get the calculator and clear, 3,000 times 0.04 times 0.25 equals $30. Okay, so this is not the answer to the question. This, we made $30 in the first 3 months. Okay, this is 3 months. So now my principal is my initial principal plus that interest. So now I'm going to say I sub 2 is what I'm trying to find. And now my new principal is $3,030. It's the interest plus principal. And then my rate is still 0.04. And my time is still 0.25. Okay, so now we're going to do interest for the second quarter equals PRT. Interest for the second quarter equals 3,030 times 0.04 times 0.25. So I sub 2, interest after the second quarter, is going to be principal times rate times time. And that becomes $30.30. Okay, so now we're going to take the new balance, and that is going to equal the principal after the first quarter, which is right here. So let's call that P sub 1, principal from the first, after the first quarter, plus interest from the second quarter. So that's going to equal $3,030 plus another $30.30. So that is going to equal $3,060.30. Okay, that one was a little bit tricky. Okay, example 4. How much interest does $1,000 earn in one day at an interest rate of 2% compounded daily? And what is the balance after that one day? Okay, so that's another simple interest problem. I equals PRT. Off to the side over here, I'm going to write I equals P equals R equals T equals. And we're trying to find interest. The principal is $1,000. The rate is 0.02%. Time is 1 day. Always assume it's not a leap year, because you know that every 4 years there's 366 days in a year. So unless it says in a leap year how much interest. So we're going to take 1 day as being 1 over 365 years. So that is the time frame that we're going to use. So I equals principal of 1,000 times 0.02 times 1 over 365. And that will give us how much interest $1,000 would earn in a day. So we take 1,000 times 0.02 times 1 divide 365. We hit enter and we get 0.0548, 0.0548. So since this third digit's less than 5, we're going to leave that as rounded off as 5 cents. So it says, what is the balance after a day? Balance equals principal plus interest. And therefore that is 1,000 plus 0.05. So the balance after 1 day would be $1,000.05. Okay. All right, so now it says how much interest does X dollars earn in 1 day at an interest rate of 5% compounded daily? Express your answer algebraically. So this is a check your understanding. Pause the video, see if you can do this, and then come back. Okay, so let's see. So we have I equals PRT, and I'm just going to do this the same way. I equals P equals R equals T equals. How much interest does X dollars earn? That's our principal. In 1 day, that's 1 over 365 years at an interest rate of 0.05. Compounded daily, express your answer algebraically. So I is going to equal P times rate times time. Okay. It could look like this. Or we could simplify this and just say I equals 0.05x divided by 365. Just cleaning it up, putting our coefficient in front of the variable and making it all one fraction. So this is a better representation, but both are correct. Okay, example 5. Let me get my highlighter out. A lot's going on in this one. Highlighter, highlighter, highlighter. Jennifer has a bank account that compounds interest daily. The rate of 1.2%. And we have dates going on here, July 11th. The principal is this amount. She withdraws 200. She deposits $34 check from her health insurance company. And then on July 12th, she has a $345.77 paycheck that she deposits into her account, or it was directly deposited. What is her balance at the end of the day on July 12th? What is her balance at the end of the day on the 12th? Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off by putting date. And what are the two dates? July 11th, July 12th. So we're only talking about 2 days here, July 11th, July 12th. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have an opening balance. And that was $1,234.98. 1, 2, 3, 4.98. Let me fix that 4. It might look like a 2 later, or 9. That's better. Okay. And then what else happened on the 11th? A withdrawal and a deposit. So let's do the deposit first. Remember that depositing is adding to your account. And she deposited a $34 check. Okay. Withdraw. Okay. A withdrawal is a negative, and she withdrew $200. Okay. Remember that's negative. So I'll put parentheses around that so we don't forget that. In bookkeeping, they can use a minus sign or parentheses, so remind that it's negative. Okay, so then what happened? On July 12th, she deposited $345.77. I'll put that over here on the 12th on the deposit row, and that's 345.77. Okay, so we want to know what the principal is that we use to figure out the interest. So the principal would be the sum of this row. So don't forget, we're subtracting that 200 at the end, and there's 98 cents, no other cents. So that's that. And 4 plus 4 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. 2, nothing here. So that's still $200. Minus 200 is 0. Be careful there. And then bring down the 1. And we have $1,000.68. I'm sorry, $1,068.98 in our account at the end of the 11th. Okay, so then it's let's see, how much interest? And remember, it's from a day. So interest equals PRT. And up here, I'll put I equals P equals R equals T equals. Our principal is $1,068.98. Our rate is 0.012. Our time is 1 out of 365 days in the year. So this is going to be I equals 1,068.98 times 0.012 times 1 over 365. So we're going to put that in our calculator. 1068.98 times 0.012 parentheses 1 divided by 365. And we get 0.035. So we're going to round that interest to the nearest penny. So it's going to be 0.04. It's going to be 4 cents. Okay, so the interest from that day is 4 cents. Okay, so what is our ending balance going to be? So it's going to be 1,068.98 plus 4 cents, which is 1,069.02. So what is her balance at the end of the day on July 12th? So now what we have to do is we have to now take this amount plus that amount, and that'll be the principal we use to calculate the interest. So we're going to take, let's change colors here now. So on day 2, I equals P R T. And I'll put over here, I equals P equals R equals and T equals. Principal is now 1,069.02 plus 345.77. So that's 1069.02 plus 345.77. And that equals 1414.79. Okay, so that's going to be principal used to compute interest, 1414.79. So that will go here. Okay, that is our new principal amount with the interest from the day before and today's deposit. So it's $1,414.79. So that goes here, 1414.79. The interest rate is still 0.012, and the time again is 1/365. So we write I equals 1414.79 times 0.012 times 1/365. And so we put that in our calculator. So I already have that there. So I'm just going to hit times. So it's going to take that 1414.79 times 0.012 and then parentheses 1 divide 365 and hit enter. And I get 0.046 this time, which would round that to 5 cents. So this would now be 0.05 cents. Okay, so this is 0.05. So we made 4 cents on one day, 5 cents on the other. Add this up, 9 and 5 is 14, carry the 1, that's 84, and 1414. So $1,414.84 will be her balance at the end of the second day. Okay, a little bit of work in that one, but not too bad. Now it's a check your understanding, pause the video, see if you can do this, and then check your answer. So here we go. On January 7th, so let me highlight that. On January 7th, Jolie opened a savings account with $900. It earns 2.1% interest compounded daily. On January 8th, she deposited her first paycheck, $76.22. What was her balance at the end of the day on January 8th? Okay. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing here, date and January 7th and January 8th. And then we had opening balance. And the opening balance was $900. Okay. And then we're going to do deposits. And those are positive, and we're going to do withdrawals, and those are minus. So let's see, $900 account. So we're going to do I equals PRT, and we're going to, let me move that down. Let me list my stuff up here. I equals P equals R equals T equals principal's 900. Rate is 0.021. Compounded daily is 1/365. Okay, so we're going to get I equals our principal of 900 times the rate, 0.021, times 1 over 365. Okay, so how much did she deposit? Actually, I should not have that principal there yet. My apologies. We have not figured out what her balance is at the end of the day before compounding the interest of that day. So let's get rid of that 900 for now. So it says on January 7th, she opened a savings account with $900 and it earns 2.1% interest on January 8th. Okay, so she didn't deposit anything, so that was okay. I'm sorry about that. Should have just left it. And this is 900. Okay, so nothing was deposited on the 7th. And there was no withdrawals. So we don't even need this row here. There were no withdrawals. That's okay though. Okay, so, and then we're going to put principal used. And that was $900 because nothing was added or subtracted. And then we're going to put days interest. Okay, what was compounded daily. So that's this value here. So now we're going to just turn our calculators on and say 900 times 0.021 times 1 divide 365. Enter. And it's 0.0517 cents or 5 cents. So that's 0.05. Okay, so ending balance. So on the first day, she had $900. She made 5 cents interest. So now she has $900.05. So now the principal used will be the deposit. Is there any deposits? On January 8th, she deposited her first paycheck of $76.22. So that's going to go here. Her starting balance on that day, I'll just bring this up here, $905. Okay, opening balance on that day. And so the principal that's going to be used is 5 plus 2 is 7, 0 plus 2 is 2, 0 plus 6, 0 plus 7, and 9 plus 0. So now with that deposit of $76.22 and 5 cents interest, she has $976.27. And that is our second formula. So we have an I equals P equals R equals T. Oops. Rate does not equal time. T equals, I forgot to put this up here, but it was 0.05. All right, so now P equals principal is $900.05. The rate is still 0.021. And this time it's again 1 day out of 365. All right, so I equals PRT. I equals 905 cents, 0.021, 1 over 365. My calculator, clear 900.05 times 0.021 times 1 divide 365. Okay, got that? Hit enter. And again, it's 5.17 cents. It's just 5 cents. We'll round to the penny. So she made 5 cents on day 2. So her new balance is 27 plus 5 is 32. And just bring down that 976. Okay, so she made 10 cents interest in 2 days, $976.32. I got thinking about that. I put the wrong amount in. No, I didn't. $900.05. That's right. 0.21. No, that is correct. I'm sorry. Enough said.